Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh my God, I can hear you, bro.
Holy crap, we made it work.
And then when you talk, it switches like the screen.
Yeah, it'll pop up in and out and show you who's all on and all that good stuff.
So do you have do you have can you put it out on Twitter?
I have not yet. No, I wanted to make sure this actually worked first.
This is actually working pretty damn good if you ask me.
Well, we finally got some technology right, huh?
Holy shit, this is amazing. This is like literally this is amazing because we can do this whenever, like it doesn't have to, you know what I'm saying? Like we can do
Mhm.
it whenever we want.
We could even get Delvin to join us.
We could even get Dell to join us. That is true. Uh, well, I mean, we're live. I think that's why you were able to join because I went live.
Oh, is that how it works? I think. Oh yeah. You can do that, and then if you wanted to, you could download the video. If we weren't quite ready, if we were just pulling around, you can download the video and then repost it. I think that's
Wow.
what Mike does.
You think that's what Mike does?
Yeah, so after he's done, I think he edits out the beginning while everybody's trying to get on and get their stuff straight and all that.
Well, I'll be damned. I'm trying to get this damn link to. I'm trying to put the link out, but it won't let me copy and paste.
Well, that's no good.
I know. Weird. I'm just gonna put it out on Twitter. Who cares, right?
Right.
Yeah, I've already priced Ethernet cables. I'm gonna go pick one up. I'm gonna go pick one up here later. But I have it plugged into that booster that I put in here,
Yeah.
and it seems to be running. It seems to be running okay. I mean, right now, I don't know if it's gonna cut off here in a minute, but
Now, you see, the only question I have about this is if you send them the same link you sent me, I don't. Is that the one you put out there? Or is there a different link for people to?
yeah, there's a different link.
Okay.
It's pissing me off because it won't stay up to where I can. Since it won't let me copy and paste it, I'm just typing it into Twitter. Let's see here. MHQ4L. Let's see if that works.
Do a little rearranging here.
Because I mean, this is broadcasting over YouTube, right? Like, I think if we
I, I,
went,
I think so. It should be.
yeah,
One of our folks out there has got to be able to help us to see if it's broadcasting or not. You would think anyway.
let me see here. Yeah, I mean, it says it's live, so I guess. Oh no, that's yeah. I think we are broadcasting live because we have one viewer. Is that you?
It's probably me.
And it won't tell us who the viewer is. I don't know. Somebody send us a chat. Somebody chat it up. Send us something to let us know we're live. I don't know.
Now, you know, the one on the right, I think it's just for you and I.
The group chat thing
Yeah.
is just for
I,
me and you.
I think so. So, like, if we had messages that we wanted to send to each other during the broadcast, or there was like 4 or 5 that were just viewing, and hey, there you are.
Hmm. We have one viewer. I don't know who that viewer is. And Daisy's barking. I don't know why.
Daisy's always barking.
All right. So anyway, let's get down to it. I said the fact that it's snowing and it looks like hell in Kansas City, it's gonna basically even out the talent level on both sides of the football, and it's gonna come down to execution, right?
Yep.
Because of the snow and because of what's going on weather wise. Maybe the maybe the Colts offensive line isn't going to be as effective. Maybe the Chiefs defensive line isn't going to be as effective, and vice versa because of that. Can you can you see this game going a different way than maybe it would have if there wasn't 3 inches of snow on the ground?
Well, I never understood the whole weather thing because to me, both teams have to play in the elements, right? So to me, the weather's a wash. I don't think it helps one team or hinders one team. It hinders both. It makes both teams change a little bit, but it affects both. So I think the Colts win this game.
You think the Colts are going to win?
Yep.
That's surprising.
Because I don't trust Andy Reid.
Well, yes, Andy Reid has always he's got that. He definitely has that playoff stigma to him. He's definitely um he's definitely a guy who has to shake a playoff curse. I mean, even though he got the Eagles to the Super Bowl, so I mean that's he's been down this road before. He's been in the playoffs. He's gotten to the Super Bowl, and then they even played in the Super Bowl. That I mean, they were more than capable of winning. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? They didn't get to the Super Bowl and get completely smashed and ran out. So, um, but can he do it in Kansas City? Because he hasn't been able to do it in Kansas City yet. That's legit. That's legit. But I think I would also say that um I would also say that he's never had a guy like Pat Mahomes. He's never
true.
had a guy like Tyreek Hill. He's never had a guy like Travis Kelsey. His defenses, I would say some of his past defenses, especially in Philadelphia, would match up well with his Kansas City defense. Um, but offensively, I just think he's got weapons that he's never had before in this position.
Let me ask you this: which quarterback do you trust more?
Well, obviously, I mean, if you just go off of what we watched last weekend, you're going to take Andrew Luck simply because of the younger guys. I mean, Lamar Jackson kind of figured it out late, in their game. But then the question arises, what was San Diego doing different because they were in control up, 21 nothing or whatever it was. You look at Deshaun Watson, who looked completely lost the entire game for 4 quarters. And Lamont tweeted me and said it looked like he was being coached by a guy from Brown University. To which I don't think Bill O'Brien was a quarterback at Brown University. So, I know they have a quarterback coach on staff, but it just looked like Deshaun Watson had no clue whatsoever. And then when there were plays to be made, he just didn't make them. He
Yeah,
was flat out inaccurate. He was hesitant. He was, he it was his worst game as a pro, I would say. Um, and then who was the third young quarterback? Remind me.
this year.
Yeah, it was in
Um,
the. Oh, who am I thinking of? Let's see. Oh, Chicago.
oh,
Mitchell
Trubisky.
Trubisky.
Yeah,
Trubisky looked like he was kind of in over his head there for about a half. About 2.5 quarters of football in, and it finally clicked for him late, and they made a run, and that game went the way that it did. Although he was fantastic on that final drive to get them in field goal range, but it does raise the question: how is Pat Mahomes going to react in his first playoff game at home against a guy in Andrew Luck who's been there, who's done that, who's not only won playoff games in the past, but has had some pretty sweet comebacks in those playoff games.
yeah,
There were games in which the Colts fell behind and Andrew Luck was able to lead them back. So, if gun in my head, I have to pick a quarterback on who I trust today, it's definitely Andrew Luck. It's definitely Andrew Luck.
I agree. The young kid. How much has Mahomes played in that type of weather? Do we know?
I don't think he's played in a game. I mean, obviously he's played in the cold because he plays in Kansas City, but I don't think I don't know, man. You'd have to go back to see what the weather was like at Tech when he played at Texas Tech because we know it snows up there and it gets cold up there in Lubbock. Um, so I'm not sure. I'm not real sure. I don't know, but I mean, you kind of stated earlier how you don't the weather is just kind of a you don't think it really ever plays a part. Well,
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill's not going to be as fast today. Travis Kelsey's not going to be as fast today. Um,
Right, but I mean, you say the same thing for the other side then too, right?
right,
So,
absolutely. You can say the same thing about the other side. Now, I guess it comes down to, you know, if you had to trust a set of skill players to manage and work out what footing is going to be like in the snow, because that's pretty much all it is, right? Like who
Right.
has the best footing. I mean, you're basically a wash. I mean, Tyreek Hill and T.Y. Hilton, they both depend on their speed. They both depend, on their route running. They both run great routes. So I don't know, man. Like this game, I think this game is closer. I think this game is closer talent wise than a lot of people will give them in the snow. Now, if they weren't playing in the snow, I would take Kansas City all day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would. I would take Travis Kelsey over Ebron. I would take Tyreek Hill over T.Y. Hilton.
Man, your
I
hate
would
for the Colts
No,
is
no, no. Listen, I would take. I just think overall, like I would take Mahomes' athleticism over luck any day. I mean, if when Patrick Mahomes has the experience in the NFL that Andrew Luck has, I mean, we may be looking at something that. I mean, I'm not going to call him Tom Brady. I'm not even going to say he's going to be able to achieve Tom Brady status because of how great Brady's been. But I mean, this guy is something. This, I mean, Dustin, we may be watching a young kid who is going to be the face of the NFL for the next 10, 12 years in Patrick Mahomes.
well. Let's see what he does today, and let's see what he
Right.
does, in these next couple of years. But no, I hear you. Where Hill says, "I hate snow games and bad weather games. To me, I want perfect conditions to see who the better team is." I agree with that. I don't mind this kind of stuff in the regular season, but in the playoffs, I would prefer good conditions. I'm with you, Rahil. I'd like to see who the better team is.
And I mean, I can kind of see why he feels that way. The only thing I will say is the only time I think I need perfect conditions in an entire football season, whether it be regular season, playoffs, whatever, I want the elements to take part in all of that. Like I'm a guy who likes to see teams overcome snow or rain or mud or whatever the case may be. But in the Super Bowl, the one game at the end of the year in the Super Bowl to determine the championship, like I am pro indoor stadium every single year for the Super Bowl guy, so that the elements are completely washed, like Rahil said, and you can truly find out who the best football team is. Because I mean, uh, look, you gotta play the card that you're dealt. You gotta be play the card that you're dealt. And if it's snowing today, that, like you said, Dustin, it we can't use that as an excuse. We can't hold that to something as to why a team didn't perform or why this guy didn't come out and have as effective game as he would have had it been dry or anything like that. We can't.
Where did Mahomes grow up? I mean, I know where he played college ball, but where did he grow up?
He's a Texas kid, man.
That's right.
He's from here.
But is he from West Texas or
I don't know. I'm looking it up.
okay?
Uh,
Because to me, I know that people always go back to college. Well, he played in the snow in college, or he played in the cold in college, or whatever. To me, it's more about where you grew up than where you played your college ball. Because, I mean, just because you're a team from Texas doesn't mean you don't have anybody that didn't grow up in cold weather and wasn't used to playing in cold weather, things like that. But it gets pretty cold in West Texas, or it can.
yeah, he's actually from Tyler, Texas. Hey,
Oh,
there was another great football player from Tyler, Texas.
who was that?
We called him the Yellow Rose, Earl Campbell.
John McClain knows that guy.
And John McClain would do well. He would do real well. Emery Hill says, but with natural grass. Yeah, see, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, if you play indoors and you play on the field turf or you play on, AstroTurf, which I miss AstroTurf. I love playing on AstroTurf.
Texans play on that.
They play on field turf, right? Like it's the shredded rubber
Yes,
to
yeah.
like emulate grass.
Next step, next gen AstroTurf.
Yeah, it's still fast. It's unbelievable the speed difference in running on a regular field and either an AstroTurf field or this other turf.
Right.
The speed difference. I mean, you just feel faster, man. You feel lighter. You feel faster. Pretty awesome.
I always, I always wondered how, because let me back up. I've run on turf before. I've played on turf before, but I wonder what it would be like to play on that rubber turf with cleats. Like to me, I would always think that they would like get stuck in the rubber or something. I don't know.
Land Steve wants to know if you're about to drop a heartache country song with your black and white. And I don't even know how you're doing that, man. That's actually pretty cool. I like the black and white look.
I'm down with the black and white.
My boy Medina says he's from White House, Texas. I guess it's probably a little suburb outside of Tyler.
White
But,
House, Texas.
White House, Texas, man. Hell yeah. White House, Texas in the house. Who would have ever thought I would have ever mentioned White House, Texas on a podcast on a From the Nosebleeds? That's crazy.
Who'd have thunk it?
So 30 minutes away. We're about 25, yeah, maybe 30 minutes away from kickoff in the Colts Chiefs game. Again, here we go. Let's lay it on the line, Dustin. I give you $1,000 to play any way you want. What are you playing?
What's the spread?
It's Chiefs favored by 5.
Mm.
Let me see if that's changed. That was probably about an hour ago that I looked at that line.
If you
Yeah,
give me five,
Chiefs by 5.
you're going to give me 5. I'll take the Colts.
You'll take the Colts?
If you give me 5, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I would take I'm still taking the Chiefs.
I like the Colts
I said
defense.
it earlier.
You know, it's interesting. Neither the Rams nor the Chiefs have played well since they played each other.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of like that game was kind of like you know, like two fighters, who got in the ring and just really had a 12-round epic fight, and then their next 3 or 4 fights, they just didn't look like the same fighter because of what they did to each other.
Right?
That's exactly what it looks like, man. It looks like
up. I mean, if you look at their split stats since that game, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was an amazing game. A lot of people didn't like it. I liked it. Um. So
Did you just turn the camera off?
no, I didn't do anything. I
Hmm.
don't know what's going on. You're still running, right?
I think so.
My camera did shut off. I wonder why my camera shut off. But I'm still here. So you're still here. I'm still here.
I just see this picture of you in your Texans hat.
Yeah, barbecuing. I was actually at Easter. That's the picture you're seeing on the thing, because for whatever reason my camera doesn't want to work now. I don't know what happened. The picture you're seeing is, oh, maybe I did. Let me see if that works.
Hey,
I somehow pushed the turn the camera off button on. I don't know how I did that.
you shouldn't do that.
I shouldn't do that.
No.
But that picture you saw was me at Easter at my parents' house, and we were having a fish fry, and I cooked about, I don't know, man, it had to be 50 pounds of fish.
Back when you had facial hair.
Back when I was allowed to have facial hair.
And
it was a very hot and sticky day, and it sucked because it was 98 degrees, and I was over 3 sets of burners with hot oil and, frying up French fries and tater tots and fish all day. So
doing your thing.
Not one of my funnest days.
Who you taking?
I'm taking the Chiefs. I would take the Chiefs and the points. Like I see them covering. I think 6. I think they're definitely, I think they're 6 points better than the Colts at home. And I just think it's probably going to be close, but I can't see the kicking game being the difference in this game today, considering the conditions. They're gonna have, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna have to score touchdowns today in order to win. Because if you rely on your kickers in these type of situations, that's not a good thing.
So, how much do you think they win by?
Man, honestly, I'm thinking like 21, 28, 21.
Okay, so you're not saying a blowout.
No. I think it's going to be a close game. I definitely think it's going to be a close game. But I think if the Chiefs or the Colts, for that matter, whoever has the ball late and they're down by, a field goal, I think a field goal is going to be a last resort in order to tie it up. I can't see either team trying to play for a field goal in a tie when a touchdown will get you a win, but not just because you can win the game with a touchdown, but because of the conditions that the kickers are going to have to face. And it sucks kicking in the snow. I work with a guy who kicked for McNeese State back in the late 90s. Left the Southland Conference as the highest leading scorer in the conference's history. And just an excellent kicker who didn't make it in the NFL due to injury. He got hurt and hurt his knee, and that pretty much ended that. But we talk kicking game all the time. I mean, and he tells me that kicking with soggy conditions is the worst because you put so much pressure on that plant foot,
right,
to get so much torque into your hips and your leg and get that rotation going that, when it's soggy out, it just sucks. Not only does it suck, but it's dangerous.
Yeah. Hey, we haven't rounded up since the Texans lost. How are you feeling about that?
I was trying to talk about it a little earlier when everything went down, but yeah, I mean, just disappointment. I mean, it was disappointing, not because they lost. I mean, there's no there would have been very little disappointment had they lost, but been competitive because you can honestly say that hey, look, the Colts are on fire, and the Colts have been on fire. So it would have been easier to accept had we been competitive, but for them to come out the way that they came out, and just for Deshaun to look confused the entire game, and just to see JJ, yeah, he had two passes deflected and one led into an interception, but for the most part, your guys on defense were shut out, and your guys on defense were made to look foolish, and your guy, they turned it around, they shut it down in the second half, but you would think that the Colts, the game would have been in reverse. The Colts would have came out and the Texans would have handled them in the first half the way they did in the second half defensively, and then the Colts go in at halftime, make adjustments, come out and put points on the board in the second half, right? Like
Right.
that's how I would have pictured it.
Does Rack need to go?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he deserves to come back. I mean, and people will argue for him that the Texans finished like seventh in the league in defense, and this and that and all of that. But I think I don't know, man. I don't know. See, I don't have enough answers because I don't know who's responsible for JJ playing as wide as he did. I don't know who's responsible for um Jadavion Clowney just continuing to run himself out of plays.
Yeah.
I don't know who's responsible for trying to double TY with McKinney. Why not? I mean, if that's your line of thinking, put a DB in that spot who can tackle inside the box and have him double TY. Why? I mean, we talked about it before the game. You got to control TY. You got to control TY. And for the most part, they did in the second half. I think he only had 2 catches for 20 yards in the second half. But for that, I mean, it's it's infuriating that there wasn't two DBs on TY pretty much the entire game. Because I think that would have changed the outcome. Now, Sharice Wright was just there to get cooked all game. Like, why is that guy on the roster? Like, why? I mean, how many times can you witness Sharice Wright get double moved for a touchdown? I think it was five. Like, how hard it is to score 5 touchdowns in a season.
Yeah.
You know how difficult it is to give up 5 touchdowns in a season. I mean, to the same guy on the same, not just any touchdown, not just some fluke. Sharice Wright got beat on the same play 5 times this season for touchdowns. Why is that guy out there? Why is he playing?
It's a great question.
I mean, obviously injuries, but even then, if that's Kevin Johnson out there, do you have any more confidence in Kevin Johnson to stop that double move?
Gosh.
No, I
Kevin
don't.
doesn't even know his name.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy, but I mean, just highly disappointed. And then to hear Bill O'Brien talk about Rat coming back, he's going to be back, and blah blah blah. I mean, listen, something's got to change, man. And I've been saying this for a couple of years now. Something's got to change over there, like culture wise. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yes, the guys play hard for Bill O'Brien. Yes, they never quit. Yes, he turned around and righted the ship, and they won 9 in a row, even though it was against crappy quarterbacks and all the other things we heard about this season. But something over at NRG has become immensely stale. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah. And I don't, I wonder if Cal's going to change any of that. It'll be interesting to see an off season with a full off season with this new GM and a full season of Cal, full off season, I should say. I wonder what kind of owner he's going to be.
I don't know. I mean, that's interesting. I mean, obviously they'll never just come out and publicly give us answers.
Right.
Like, hey, Cal, how are you going to run the team? Yeah, just don't worry about it, right?
I got this.
And I mean, I think it's something we'll see in when free agency hits. I think it's something we'll see in the draft, and then obviously, me personally, I don't care if I get him extension or not. I don't give Bill another season. Sorry, man. I mean, your playoff record is horrendous. The only playoff record you've recorded is against Connor Cook. You beat Connor Cook because the Raiders, Derek Carr got hurt, and in the other 3 playoff games, you look like total butthole. I mean, you look bad. So to me, it's like, okay, you had 4 chances. You didn't really dominate Connor Cook, and you look like trash in the other 3 playoff games. It's time to go.
Well, I mean, look, I'll say this. I don't put that game on O'Brien at all. You had plays where players weren't catching the ball. You had throws that were horribly inaccurate. The play calling was right. They were prepared. They didn't execute. I put this way more on the players than I do on Billy. The
I
defense,
mean,
I mean, the defense isn't going to be his. That's going to be Rack, right? So you look at the offense. The offense was fine. The game
Oh,
plan was fine.
and what I talked about in the week before was Bill O'Brien going to make the right decisions in situations in which can swing the game. And it's so funny because Lamont used to make fun of me for talking about situational football, right?
Right.
Like back in the day,
Right.
Kareem Jackson was on with Colin Cowherd, and he specifically talked about in-game football situations and how the Texans failed at every in-game football situation where a play needed to be made. They failed.
Yeah.
And you're down 14 nothing. You know, it's 4th and 2 again near midfield. You're already down in the first quarter, 14 nothing. It's near midfield, 4th and 2. And again, Bill O'Brien chooses to punt. That kind of decision making. You're in a playoff game. You play to win. I mean, obviously the Colts had two fantastic, spectacular drives in which you showed no sign of stopping them.
Yeah.
So does it really matter if you go for it on 4th and 2 from midfield and they stop you when they get the ball at midfield, or deciding to punt and not even giving you a chance to pick it up and maybe move the ball and maybe get in the end zone and cut it down, put points on the board or whatever? Does it matter at all, Dustin, if they would have gotten the ball, let's say they pinned them on the 10-yard line? If the Colts would have had the ball on the 10 or they would have had the ball on the 50, what did it matter in that situation? Because after they punt, the Colts went down and scored a touchdown.
Yeah. It's true.
And that's, I mean, and that's my biggest beef with Bill O'Brien is, dude, you have got to understand the severity of what's going on. You're down 14 nothing. It's 4th and 2. Listen, it wasn't as egregious as the Wildcat call and not allowing the Texans to try and punch it in, because I mean that whole situation, you ran the Wildcat, you failed, and then your very next play call was a Brian Hoyer drop back where he threw an interception, right?
Right.
Boom, game over. That's it. When they punted that ball on 4th and 2, I tweeted out that the game was over, because if that's the mindset going forward from that point and what had happened in that football game, you're not mentally prepared to win that football game.
Where in the game did that happen again? I can't remember.
It was in the first quarter. It may have been at the very start of the second quarter because the Colts scored their third touchdown early in the second quarter.
Right.
So it was either at the end of the first quarter, at the very beginning of the second quarter. The ball was at like the 46,
Yeah.
48. Like you hadn't crossed midfield yet. Okay, so you were still on the negative side of the field. It was 4th and 2. You were already down 14 nothing, and I mean this dude without hesitation just.
I wonder if that was the drive though where Nuke screwed up his shoulder. My guess is if that was the drive, they were trying to figure out if he was going to be okay or not. And that's why he punted to get Nuke off the field. Because if Nuke comes off, what else you got? You got nothing at that point. All your receivers are injured.
Well, that's not true. There was tight ends running wide open all day that Deshaun ignored or missed.
They don't throw to the tight end.
And hey, listen, man, with all the expectations laid upon Deshaun Watson, with all the talk about Deshaun Watson being who Deshaun Watson is, and blah 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 blah, Deshaun, it shouldn't matter in that particular situation. In that 4th and 2 situation, you can't design something that wouldn't involve Nuke to pick up 2 yards. Like you can have Nuke out there as a decoy, definitely if you're that concerned. Okay, line them up wide and come up with something using your imagination that is going to pick up 2 yards. And they just, instead of doing that, instead of attempting that, they just punted the ball. And then the Colts went down. It was 21 nothing. And that was game.
Yep.
That's why, and like we're still real saying, healthy QB, your franchise QB is healthy defense, home field advantage, and it was the same exact result. I mean, it's something, I don't know, man. Like I'm not overly superstitious. I'm not that guy. Like I'm not Robert De Niro in Silver Linings Playbook, which I watched Thursday night at work, and I've seen that movie like 5 times. I can't get enough of it. But I'm not Robert De Niro in that movie when it comes to superstitions. But I am a true believer of when things are the way they are now, something's got to change. Whether you change the uniform, whether you change the entrance, whether you change. I mean, something over there at NRG has got to change because it has become so stale.
I'm telling you, I've said it before. the Texans franchise are about as exciting as the color blue they chose. That is the most boring blue. It's just kind of, it's just blah. It just ugh. And that's how that franchise is. It's just kind of there. I don't know.
And in all honesty, let me ask you a question. You look at Tennessee. You look at they bring in Mike Vrabel. Marcus Mariota is just an injury waiting to happen from week to week. But Tennessee did some really good things this season.
They
I
did.
mean, they had a solid year, better than I think anyone expected. Look at the just a little subtle change that they made before the season started. They announced and premiered their new uniforms,
Right.
which I actually really, really like. I mean,
God,
it looked good. You don't like the dark helmet with the white face mask and the
I like the helmet design, and that's it. The
I actually
jersey,
I actually like their whole kit. It was I think it's sweet. But that little change, just that little change, it invoked more excitement. Players
it,
they look like they had more pride. They were ready to go. They were ready to represent that uniform when they were able to put it on and get out on the field. Something's got to change over there, man.
they got to
And
get rid of Clay Walker.
yeah, like Clay Walker. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? I'm so sick of this guy, man. Like Bun B, they had Bun B again,
That's
and
why they lost because Bun B was out there again.
I mean, why? Why do you keep doing the same shit over and over? And are you telling me that they don't have the resources to bring in a different act to sing the national anthem, to perform at halftime, whatever the case may be?
Vanilla Ice one time.
I mean, they had Vanilla Ice and they had what was it? What was that guy's name? Bust a Move guy, the something
Oh,
MC.
yeah. Yeah.
What the hell was his name? Anyway,
That was like 3 or 4 years ago, right?
no, I think that was well, yeah, it was like 2 years ago. I don't think it was last year. I don't know.
It's just
But,
a.
I mean, something over there's got to change. That's it. I don't know what it is, but
It's kind of like the Rockets too. Both of those franchises are just kind of boring, and I think a lot of it has to do with the design of their logo and just I don't know.
the I mean, just that's a perfect example, Dustin. Look at what happened when the Rockets went to the black uniforms.
Dude, those black uniforms and then the red colorway, the same,
Yeah,
that kind go with those. Those should be the full-time uniforms for the Rockets. I like the font. I like everything about it.
I know. Just that little subtle black, and then that red one. I really love the red one. Like I
That red
really,
one's
really love the red one.
really cool.
They got rid of that garbage ass white one that they came up with when the owl was here, and then those other like bright red ones. I hate those uniforms.
They're terrible.
I hate them, and I'm like a big like I'm a traditionalist, so I feel like the home team needs to wear white, and the road team needs to wear whatever color their color scheme is.
Mhm.
But the red uniforms and the black uniforms have changed my way of thinking on that. Like
Yeah.
I'm okay with that, them wearing those at home as opposed to the white jerseys. But yeah, like I said, something's got to change, man. Something maybe you're not gonna put your finger on. Um, just do something to change it.
I'll say this: I don't think Tillman Fertitta is going to sit down or just sit around and let nothing change. I've got faith that he'll get things changed.
And what's funny is because I took the kids to see Spider Verse this morning,
Oh yeah.
which is fantastic. I mean, it really. If you haven't seen it, Dustin, you need to go see it. It's really, really cool. Like they use Nicolas Cage perfect in this movie. I mean, it's incredible. Um, but if you haven't seen it, no spoilers coming, but Marvel made the belief that there's a different Spider-Man everywhere. Like anyone can be Spider-Man, right?
Okay.
There's more than just one Spider-Man.
So Spider-Man
And
is man.
yeah, like there's in different man, what do they call it? Different I guess different universes. There's they're saying all these different Spider-Men are from and Spider-Women are from different universes, right? Like
Huh.
that guy is the Spider-Man of his universe, she's the Spider-Woman of her universe, da 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 da, right? Bro, this kid Miles who is the star of the show, when he realizes that he's the Spider-Man of his universe, he takes Spider-Man's old like regular normal Spider-Man suit and he paints it up, dude. Like because that's his thing. He's like a graffiti artist,
Okay.
and he paints his Spider-Man outfit and he puts it on, and it is the dopest shit I've ever seen, dude. Like I was like, oh my god, that Spider-Man outfit is amazing.
Are
And
you gonna
Joseph,
go get a Spider-Man costume?
oh Joseph, I already told him I was like, dude, you're being Miles Spider-Man for Halloween this year. Like you don't have a choice.
You not for no, don't blame JoJo. I'm talking for you.
Oh, I would never. I would never. I mean, there's no way to contain my dong in something like that.
Gosh, just
You know how much attention I would get for that? Like I would be called a pedophile on Halloween night, walking around wearing that costume simply because.
no one wants
Like,
that.
do you have to reveal that? Hello, you can't, you know. And I'm like, what do you want to do? It's just nature. I don't understand.
Cast is going down quick.
So, okay, so the Colts and Chiefs game are fixing to start. Anyway, that little subtle change to Spider-Man's outfit had me and JoJo like, oh my god, we were super hype, and just something like that, something as little as doing that would I think change. And I honestly think the excitement for the Texans is worn off, even from the most diehard Texan fans. I honestly believe that. Um,
I don't think so.
I do.
This this town, it's so funny. You couldn't say one bad thing about the Texans a month ago. You would get a lecture from everybody, and they lose a playoff game, and now it's as if they never won crap.
Well, because they haven't.
That's true.
They haven't won anything. You know. So and Real Hill says it's because we as a city, we don't have anything else. Beyonce disowned the city. Everything has to be Houston related. They couldn't afford Travis to perform, so they only paid him for the run out. Yeah, that was pretty weak, dude. Like why would you have Travis Scott lead the team out onto the field? Why? Travis Scott doesn't relate to anybody older than me. You don't have anybody older than me running around bumping Astroworld in their ride. It's non-relatable to the older crowd. And let's face it, the majority of a Texans game is an older crowd.
Yep.
Like seriously, this is like that game would have been a perfect opportunity playing the Colts to run out an Earl Campbell, to run out. Why don't they let Nolan Ryan do it? I mean, why don't they let have Akeem Olajuwon do it if you don't want to do the football route?
Right.
Have bring back Sam Cassell. Where's Sam Cassell and Robert Ory? They're boys. They own an audio video installation business together. You can't get both of those guys to come out and lead the Texans out. I mean, there's so many options to do that, and they choose Travis Scott, who's probably relatable to like 30% of the crowd in energy.
Yeah. Well, at least the Texans are consistent.
All right, let's break it down. Dallas Cowboys, the Los Angeles Rams. Obviously, I know who you're pulling for. You're a diehard Cowboy fan, which is a fucking shame.
Well, one team's at home right now, one team isn't, so there's that.
Well, the Cowboys aren't at home either. They're on the road.
Smart ass. I think it comes down to one player, and that is, are you going to be able to stop 99? If they can at least slow 99 down and give Dak some time, I like their chances. But if Donald is just going to plow through everybody all day, Dak is going to end up dead. So, yeah, if they can contain and slow him down, I think they've got a really good chance. Because I mean, these two teams are pretty evenly matched. They have the same type of game. Both defenses are great. Both running games are great. And I'm still not convinced that LA has the better quarterback. I think him and Dak are very similar. I give the Rams the advantage on their pass rush, and I give them a huge advantage in their play calling too. McVay is a great play caller, and Dallas does not have very much creativity at all when it comes to play calling. But I still think Dallas pulls it out.
Bro, I'll tell you this right now. The one thing that Patrick Mahomes has over Jared Goff in this situation, as we look at them as two young quarterbacks that we talked about earlier, right? The one thing Patrick Mahomes has over Jared Goff is Patrick Mahomes has all his weapons. Everybody's there. I think the loss of Cooper Kupp Daisy's digging in the carpet again. Stop. I think the loss of Cooper Cup has not been talked about enough.
Hmm.
I think one of the reasons why the Rams have fallen off since that Chiefs game is because of the absence of Cooper Cup. Cooper Cup was Jared Goff's security blanket, right? Jared Goff always felt most comfortable when he knew that Cooper Cup was running around on third down because Cooper Cup was the guy he threw the football to. Not to mention all the attention Adam Thielen got in Minnesota last year for being as great as he was, deservedly so, not hating. He deserved being labeled the best white wide receiver in the game of football last year. Let me tell you something. Up until Cooper Cup's injury, he was last year's Adam Thielen. I mean, this guy turned into just a spectacular, outstanding wide receiver who was making plays for Jared Goff in the most crucial times of football games. And for him to go down and get hurt, that's when the Rams kind of fell off. That's when the Rams when Jared Goff had to find other ways to make plays and had to put his trust in other players in critical situations is when the Rams started to fall off.
Yeah.
So not having Cooper Cup in the lineup today, I think, along with the pressure that the Dallas Cowboys can actually put on Goff because they're more than capable of putting pressure on him, I think they can get Goff just a little bit more uncomfortable than he's maybe ready for. And I don't think it's going to get ugly, but I can definitely see the Cowboys pulling it out in LA. I mean, I hate to say that.
It pains you, doesn't it?
It does pay me, but also, I mean, how effective is Gurley going to be?
Yeah.
How
Well,
healthy is he? Obviously, he got an extra week of rest.
yeah. I think that the other factor for the Cowboys that's going to make this a harder game than it normally would is both Blake and Cole Beasley are hurt. They're going to try to start, but I don't see them really being effective, especially in the conditions that they're going to have to play in. So you got your one tight end that finally was emerging as a really, really good player, and you're not going to be able to use him. That's going to suck. And Cole, I mean, that's your slot receiver. That's your guy that, in crunch time, you can count on him. He'll get open. He can go to it. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. When he goes to free agency, I would love to see him play in Houston because I don't think Dallas is going to be able to afford him. But not having Cole there and not having Blake there is going to be a problem.
Oh, it's going to come down to quarterback play. I think Zeke and Gurley are going to cancel each other out.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I trust guys like Robert Woods. I mean, how many times has he been in this situation in his career?
That's true.
I think you have to go all the way back to USC, right?
Probably, yeah.
I don't think he's had any success in the NFL. Not success individually wise, but as far as this big a game in the playoffs. And I mean, I hate to say it, man. Anytime you play the Dallas Cowboys in the playoff, it's a huge game.
Well, that and you're playing in the Coliseum, and LA is very, very Cowboys friendly.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of history between the Rams and the Cowboys.
Absolutely.
So I think it's gonna be a hell of a game. I think it's gonna be a defensive battle.
I'm convinced that it's going to be a pro Cowboy crowd at the game.
I could see at least 40% of them being Cowboys for sure.
Yeah, man. And man, they're showing the underground heating system in Kansas City right now. Dude, I would love. It's crazy. I would love to have it in my yard.
Yeah, because that's what you need in Houston, Texas, is an underground heating system.
Well, for the 3 days that it gets down to 17 degrees and it kills all of my plant life. I mean, the last 2 years we've had days so cold that all of my landscaping has been replaced twice. And I'm just we've been fortunate this year because it hasn't gotten that cold. And I'm telling you, man, I don't know if I'm going to pay again to have all of my landscaping redone because the cold killed it all.
I bet the servants are not happy.
I just want, we'll just fill it up with sand and plant cacti. That way I don't have to worry about paying for expensive ass palm trees and plants again because I'm sick of it.
Palm trees can live in anything.
And it is cold in Kansas City. Will Shields, I think he's a Hall of Famer, lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I thought that was the Carolinas gimmick was the drum.
Banging the drum.
Pound.
Well, that is a Indian drum, like a Native American drum. The drum they have in Carolina is like a marching band bass drum.
That's true.
You
Man,
see, that's the difference.
KC gets up for games, man. That
Yeah,
crowd
they
is
do.
cool.
Man,
I
they've
would
been mistreated for decades, man. The heartache. I mean, the heartache that they've had endured, it rivals us here in Houston. We're like the same city when it comes to sports.
Arrowhead gets so loud.
It does, man.
I would love
And
to.
look, Kansas City's kicking off. Are you watching it? I'm watching it. Kansas City's kicking off. So the Colts get the ball first. Man, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Buffalo Oiler game. All the snow on the ground, like pushed to the side. Wow, this can be a good game. Okay, so what do you think the final's going to be in that Cowboy Rams game?
I think it's going to be 14-7 Cowboys.
Oh, wow, really?
You got
Man,
two defenses that absolutely fly around.
uh my score was going to be a bit higher than 14-7. I was going to say 24-17 Cowboys.
Yeah.
I think Zeke's going to get in the end zone twice. I think Dak's going to put one in with his legs.
Man, that run he made last week.
Yeah.
When he was down at the 1, that was crazy.
I'm telling you, man, Dak Prescott impressed all year long, people went back and forth about how Dak Prescott is not Deshaun Watson and Deshaun Watson's better. Sorry, Dak Prescott showed better than Deshaun. So, right.
Like I
So,
said,
right. Go ahead.
Dak just wins. I mean, he finds a way to win. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's Deshaun's got to work hard this offseason to get on Dak's level, apparently, coming into next season. You can say whatever you want about me saying that. I don't care. The truth is the truth, man.
The Battle Red Rowdies are going to come after you.
You know what Dak Prescott looked like? He looked, in one word, to simplify it as much as I can, Dak Prescott looked like he belonged.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson looked like he was a backup who got thrown into the fire in the last second and didn't pay attention all week because, backups tend to, not really pay attention, I guess. But it looked like he paid no mind at all to the game plan all week and looked like he didn't even belong. Like, I honestly feel like saying, Deshaun, that's why you're a backup, bro. That's why you're a backup right there. What you showed last week in that game, that's why you're a backup. And that's why Dak's a starter. Obviously, I'm being a bit sarcastic and over the top, but hey, man.
Sarcastic and over the top?
It is what it is. Oh, look at that. First down. Ebron drops the football for a first down. Where was that drop at last week? Where was it? So the Colts go 3-and-out on their first drive.
Yep.
And here we go. Kicking game. It's going to play a huge part in this game. Man, I already forgot who I picked. Who did I pick?
You picked the Chiefs. I did
pick the Chiefs.
I went with the Colts.
Oh, yeah. 28-21, right? That's what I picked.
Who do you think wins tomorrow between Philly and New Orleans?
Oh, New Orleans gonna kill them.
Yeah.
They're gonna roll.
I don't know. I
understand why you don't want that to be true. Look, already the footing. Tyreek Hill fields a punt, falls down.
Boom.
Everyone stops. He gets up. He's out to the 40, out to the 50. Like, a huge return was the result of that because he went to take his first step and fell down. Now I think it's going to come all the way back because there's a flag on the field.
Freaking ice.
Yeah. And he didn't look as fast running that football back. It is what it is. Let me see. Hold. Yep, they're holding him right there. I think the Saints roll. What was that?
I said I think my feed is about 10 seconds behind yours on the game.
On the game. Now San Diego can go into New England and beat the New England Patriots tomorrow afternoon.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it that they could go in, they can shut down that offense, and they can walk out with the win. Now, that being said, we're talking about the New England Patriots. We're talking about Bill Belichick. We're talking about Tom Brady. We're talking about Rob Gronkowski.
Look, I don't care how Brady has played during the regular season. Playoff Brady is always different than regular season Brady. So the whole idea that Brady's done, he's all blah, 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 blah. Look, he always makes it up in the playoffs. He always finds a way. So I'm not counting Brady out. Ooh, that's a nice hit.
And I wonder what the weather's going to be like there. I haven't looked at it.
It's supposed to be snowing.
Because Tom Brady is elite. Like, there's another level above elite that Tom Brady sits in games during the playoffs when it's snowing.
It's the Brady level.
I mean, the guy he's in a world all of his own. He's on a level all of his own when it comes to that type of situation. When he's got to go out there in bad weather and play in a playoff game, this guy is unmatched at how good he is in
You
that
know
type
what?
of situation.
Honestly, I want Dallas to go all the way, of course, and I want New England to go all the way, just so we can see those two hated teams in the NFL go at it and watch Twitter have a horrible meltdown. It would be great.
I'm actually hoping. Check this shit out. No one's thought of this. Nobody across the country has thought of this.
Wow, this is going to be big.
So this is you're hearing this first right here, right now, and this just goes to show how outside of the box I think when I think in terms of sports.
It's the hot
I'm
take.
hoping for I'm hoping for a San Diego New Orleans Saints Super Bowl
Why?
because San Diego let Drew Brees go under the false pretense that he was too injured to continue playing quarterback. They picked up Philip Rivers. Since then, Drew Brees has played quarterback in New Orleans, and Philip Rivers has been the quarterback in San Diego.
Okay.
And I want the Chargers to beat the Saints. That way, Philly can say, "See, you made the wrong choice. You made the wrong choice. Should have stuck. You should have. No, you made the right choice, not the wrong choice. You made the right choice in picking Philip Rivers over Drew Brees all those years ago. I brought you a Super Bowl. Here you go. Happy birthday."
20 years later.
On cue, third down, Travis Kelsey. No, it was the second and one. Travis Kelsey. Yeah, the Colts are going to struggle today. I can just tell you right now. Patrick Mahomes is throwing darts, and it looks like he's standing like 3 feet away from a dartboard and just hitting the bullseye every time. He has been on point up to this point in their first drive, and it's simple. He's there. The tight end. The Colts did the same thing to the Texans last week, and what did Travis Kelsey do? He runs 6 yards. He turns around. He sits down. Boom,
Yep.
easy catch and throw. A gain of 11, first down. Move the chains. I mean, this is something. I tweeted out during the game last week. It is amazing
Yard
to
line.
watch an elite quarterback do what he does. He's at his best doing what he does. I said the only thing that sucks is that quarterback plays for the Colts and not the Texans.
Ooh, look at that run.
Did you see that? See, man, I'm telling you, man,
He was
whew,
wide.
it's
Oh,
just
there's a flag.
yeah, that's going to be a horse collar on the Colts. That's another 15. Unnecessary roughness.
It's going to be interesting. So, who are you taking between? So, you're taking New Orleans over Philly.
I'm taking New Orleans over Philly, and I'm going to take the Chargers over the Pats. And that's not even. I'm not saying I'm taking the points.
Right.
I
Just
don't
straight
even
up.
know. I don't even know what the spread is. Straight up, I think the Chargers go in and beat the Patriots.
I agree with both.
Damn, really? I was hoping you wouldn't.
The only one I might, yeah, I just never know about playoff Brady, But something just tells me that I was gonna say San Diego's year, L.A. or whatever they are now, the Chargers year. And you know what? I would like to see Rivers get a ring. Can you imagine how fired up he'd be?
Yeah, man, I'd like to see it too. Considering my team's not good enough to sniff a Super Bowl, you go into that mode of, all right, well, who's the guy you want to see win? Well, we definitely don't want to see Brady win, right? But all the other quarterbacks still alive. I mean, I think it would suck if Andrew Luck won a Super Bowl because obviously he's in our division, he's a rival, all that good stuff. But it would be cool to see him, a kid from Stratford, win a Super Bowl ring. Philip Rivers, obviously, from the work that he's laid in all the years he's been in the NFL, it'd be cool to see him play or win a Super Bowl. Drew Brees already has his Super Bowl, so he's crossed off the list. He's in. You already won one, bro. I don't want to see you win another one. Nick Foles, same thing. You've already won a Super Bowl. I want to see you win another one.
Plus, he's an Eagle.
Plus, he's to you. But to see like a guy like Patrick Mahomes come in and have an MVP like season, I think Patrick Mahomes is the MVP. Personally, for him to be so young, to come into the league and dominate and then win a Super Bowl in his first league would be pretty cool to see.
I would love to see Zeke get a ring and give it to Goodell and say, "Hey, buddy, you tried to keep me out. You couldn't keep me out. Look what happened."
Yeah, and I mean, I think Jason Garrett winning a Super Bowl would be. I mean, that would shit in a lot of faces
Can you imagine?
of just Cowboy fans. I mean, I understand.
Oh, heck. Yeah.
I understand how fans of other teams don't like Jason Garrett and laugh at him and make fun of him, but dude, he gets way more vitriol from Cowboys Nation than any other fan base in the NFL.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, that they would not. That I know some Cowboy. Well, and I guess there's Houston fans are the same way about Bill O'Brien. Even if they didn't want him to win, just because they wanted the coach gone, that's just absurd to me.
yeah.
Why would you want your squad to lose? Who cares? If
Well,
they went with that coach, maybe you're wrong about how good of a coach they are.
well, in all fairness, had the Texans went on to win the Super Bowl this year, I would have wanted Bill O'Brien fired and a new head coach brought in.
That makes no sense to me.
I mean, that's just I just don't like this organization with Bill O'Brien at the head of it. I don't think he's a good football coach, and
But
I don't
Super
I
Bowl,
don't think he's a good enough football coach to get the Texans where they want to be. Let me put it that way.
people didn't like Tom Landry either until he started winning.
Everyone loved John Madden.
In hindsight, they
Well,
liked Joe Madden just because he was crazy.
dude, John Madden was the man because he gave a Mexicano the chance to play quarterback, and that quarterback led them to a Super Bowl. A lot of people don't realize Jim Plunkett was Mexican, man.
Was he really?
Yeah, man, come on, man. The Jim Plunkett.
Okay.
All right, so you're going. Who you going with? Chargers or Patriots?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Chargers,
Okay. Oh yeah, you
but
did say you
that's
agree
fine
with that.
if the Patriots win. I mean, it's Brady and Belichick.
All right, hey, listen, don't go too crazy tonight during the Cowboys game.
You'll probably hear me yelling
Just relax.
from neighborhoods of far, far away from each other.
So good luck to all the teams playing. The Chiefs are already up 7-0 on the Colts, doing exactly what I said the Texans should have done last week. Um, so there's that. Hey,
Five,
now that we got the
five play,
technology,
5 plays, 90 yards, 3 minutes.
that's it. Throw to the tight end. Throw to the tight end, throw to the tight end, throw to the tight end. Boom, you hit a crossing route, and then you hand it off to the running back inside the 10 who finishes the job. Easy breezy. As an old white woman would say, easy breezy Japanesey.
Why you got to hate on White?
I'm just being honest, man. Just being honest. Just you know how it was. I mean, a lot of people forget what happened with the Japanese and the Chinese during the construction of the railroads here in America.
Oh my gosh!
You
Now we're
know,
gonna get a history lesson.
yeah. So, all right. Well, now that we know technology is up and good and going, and we're good to go, look for more of this to happen. Of course, Dustin's still always invited to come over and be in studio. Um, but maybe we can figure out and get real fancy and have like a third person join us, right? Either when you're here in studio with me or you're on like you're on now, we can have a third person. I don't know how complicated that would be, but
No, it's the same exact way we're doing it now.
man, that warms my heart.
Come on, Dell.
Just warms my heart. So enjoy the games tonight. Enjoy the games tomorrow. You'll be hearing from Dustin and I in the near future, very near future, more often now that we got it all figured out. And Dustin, hey man, appreciate it. Good luck tonight, buddy.
Yep. We'll see you.
All right, man. We'll see y'all later.
Deuces.